G'day fellas. So recently, Pyrocynical made an official sort of statement on his YouTube channel about the alleged allegations that were against him that were put out on Twitter a couple months ago. Now this thing spiraled out of control way too much, and I can see why a lot of people were skeptical since there was so much of a grey area and since there were allegations thrown left, right and center. So I can sort of see why so many people were switching sides so easily. Since there's a lot of documents and a lot of reading involved, people sort of took it as it was, not how it actually is. People just saw one thing and they, took it for what it was. They never really looked into it any further than just, what it actually said. Now, this obviously had a lot of implications on these sort of allegations because it made Pyro look really, really bad in this Google document that was released. Now, I was one of the many people that believed Pyro and what he was saying, mainly because I just feel like Pyro isn't that stupid. He's never really been the smartest person on earth, but he's definitely not that stupid to go and do something like that. He's not going to go ruin his career just for some self-pleasure. He just doesn't seem that stupid at all. Now, obviously, this entire thing started from, this one tweet or these few tweets that Ivory put out on Twitter. And then people, started to, push these rumors around and never really looked at Pyro's side at all. They just took them for what it was. And since he never really responded at all, people sort of it made him look more guilty. And then Pyro came out with a statement on his Reddit page, and it goes through everything that Ivory put out on Twitter and basically just diffuses the entire thing. But some people still believed Ivory as, since it was all through words, and there was an interview with Ivory that was done with Ivory, and a lot of the things that he says literally just go against what Ivory initially put out. And that just goes to show that he was trying to ruin Pyro's career and just gain a little bit of fame off of it.
What he and no one else has done is come close to substantiating how this constitutes as grooming. Ivory himself even struggles to explain how what I did was grooming.
How were you groomed? Because you don't need to be groomed for this to be wrong. I mean, is it really fair that you use the word grooming? And if that's true, if you feel that's true, where was this going?
See, I'm not I don't know. I was in a call with my friend when I typed it out, and I typed I remember I typed that and asked is that okay?
Because it reads more like a YouTube thumbnail. Do you honestly believe? Did you not understand the definition of the word?
I feel like it was forcing or manipulating a child into a sexual situation.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
that's what that word means to me.
No, I'm not saying he did it deliberately, but I am saying that he almost did, regardless if he meant it or not, which just goes to show that you should just be a lot more careful with what you say on the internet. Now, after Pyro's initial response to the allegations, everything sort of simmered down for a bit. I think a week and a half passed by with nothing else being thrown around. And then this Google Doc got leaked or got put out on the internet, and that was really what sort of set off this second initial explosion of allegations being thrown at Pyro. And the main point in this Google document is that Pyro did not know Ivory's age at the time, which is a big reason. Obviously, I don't need to say this, the age of consent is pretty fucking important for stuff like this. But as Pyro mentioned in his response video, it never went further than roleplay and, some weird furry roleplay shit, which, I mean, if you're into something weird, then you're into something weird. Simple as that. I'm not going to put it against you.
These conversations never led to any nudes being exchanged. It was just purely fantasy garbage, something which Ivory himself confirms.
Did he ever ask you for nudes?
No.
But like Pyro said, it never amounted to anything more than just a little bit of roleplay, which, is weird in itself, but it's definitely not considered grooming and definitely not considered something, overly sexual. If you compare what Pyro did to something like what Bill Cosby did or Jeffrey Epstein did, you can see that there's a very fucking clear difference. So people kept talking about how Pyro didn't know his age with no definitive evidence that he didn't. And obviously this was later confirmed that Pyro didn't know his age. One of the many things that was used against Pyro is that he didn't see all of Ivory's tweets on Twitter and on Discord.
Now this document, it tries really, really hard to prove that I knew Ivory's age despite the fact that they have nothing concrete. Pyrocynical never saw any of the tweets of Ivory explicitly saying that he was 15 years old on an account Pyrocynical follow and interacted with regularly. They then provide a list of Ivory stating his age multiple times on Twitter. So if I'm so sure that I didn't know he was 15, how would I have missed this? This is something I said in my original Reddit statement. He never once disclosed the fact that he was 15 at the time these exchanges commenced. He didn't include his age in his bio until he was 16, but I was not on Twitter between the 28th of December 2016 until the 29th of June 2017, as I was suspended. It would have been a hell of a lot less likely for me to see all but one of these tweets that's been used as evidence in this Google Doc. My Reddit post clearly shows that I was suspended from Twitter at the time that they were made.
About how he was 15 at the time. And obviously Pyro later came out in his newest response video saying that, you know, that people didn't really double check, and that apparently Pyro referred back to the first response that he made on Reddit about how he was suspended on Twitter. Because you guys know Pyro, he got suspended. I mean, I already knew that was true because, like, if you can even search it up, and if you search up his name on Twitter, nothing comes up. So, I mean, I don't know how people were dumb enough to believe that stupid claim. But there still could have been a chance. I don't know, maybe. I mean, realistically, if you just take it at face value, it seemed like that claim is just really, really strong against him. But when you really look at all the evidence combined, it's just such a stupid claim, and if you believe it, you're just plain out stupid. One thing that really pisses me off is that this was just blown out of proportion way too much. It should have just been kept to DMs, but, you know, I guess Ivory wanted a little bit of attention, so we ended up making it public. And I mean, he got the attention he wanted. Maybe not the attention he deserved, but he definitely got the attention that he probably wanted to get. It just saddens me that this is the sort of shit that goes on the internet. It's like you literally have to worry about saying anything wrong. It's so bad. Another one of the things that was used against Pyro is the fact that he wanted to fly him out to England to have sex with him. And in Pyro's response video, he said that this is completely false, that he sent this invitation out to, you know, a dozen people, just random people, and they all, you know, most of them came because that was for a massive YouTuber event.
Is inviting him and a bunch of other people to an event in the UK. And somehow this got spun as me buying him a plane ticket to fly him out to have sex with him.
Even if he lied, which can't be proven, a 20-year-old guy flying a 16-year-old boy out to fuck him in England. I don't care what the lie is. Most people find that disgusting, and that's why Pyro's losing.
Sive, PewDiePie's editor, is one of the many people I invited to this event, and he agrees the claim is just complete bullshit.
I never thought in my life I'd have to ever justify something like this, but I do remember back in 2017, Niall invited me and a bunch of other people to drink with him. And I remember telling Niall very last minute that I couldn't come, so I pretty much flaked on him. To say something sexual was going to happen in a very public event with a load of people, even people Niall didn't even know and wasn't really close with, it's just false. Seriously. There's just no question about that.
I really don't understand how you can reach the conclusion that I invited him just to have sex with him. I invited him casually. No plane ticket was purchased, no specific handmade invite was sent. It was flippant, nonchalant, and that exact same invite was copied and pasted word for word to dozens of people. Ivory himself even said he did not get any sexual tones from this.
When he invited you, was there any kind of indication that it was sort of a date in any way? That there would be a wink-wink, date-like act with sexual interaction? Did he give you that idea at all?
He didn't, like... If he was, I didn't pick up on it.
I mean, yeah, we shared some fat furry art. We had some weird fantasy roleplay, but there was no sexual interest. There were no nudes exchanged. His name, his appearance, it wasn't important to me. I didn't even know what he looked like at this point. I mean, if he linked me a picture or something, I would have forgotten it because it was just that irrelevant to me. But I'm going to jump right ahead anyway and invite him to come over just for sex. Okay.
So yeah, a lot of the claims in these documents are just plain out stupid. And it just goes to show that you can't believe one side without hearing the other side. There's always two sides to a coin. There's two sides to every coin, and you have to take everything with a grain of salt, especially on the internet, because everything in these documents was paraphrased, and if they went into 100% detail with everything, it'd just be way too long, and people sort of just took it at face value and went with it. And obviously that's not what you should do, especially with something as serious as grooming. Pyro definitely did a good job in his response video clearing up everything, and, you know, I never really thought he was a groomer to begin with, but I guess other people did, and those people are now being proved wrong, or they are now hearing from, you know, Pyro's side and how he felt. But I'm glad Pyro responded, and I'm glad that he did it in a really sensible manner. He always comes with solid evidence, and he always does his best, and he actually does a good job of disproving any false allegations, which is why I like Pyro so much as a person. But yeah, I'm just glad this entire thing is over. I mean, I'm sick and tired of watching every single video about, you know, Pyro being a groomer. I mean, people had their fun and people made their money, but now that the whole entire thing's over, I'm definitely glad to see all this ending, especially since it's been like 2 months since the initial allegations came out. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like down below and make sure you hit subscribe. It really helps me out. One last thing before I go is that I also have a Discord server. I have a Discord server, so if you want to come join that, you want to come talk to me, ask me anything, you want to come hang out with some other cool people, then make sure to click the link in the description below. But yeah, that about does it from me, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.
I'm a sexual predator, I took advantage of him, and I knew his age all along. This is all true.
Wait, Pyro's a groomer? Always has been.
Soak up the rags, spark up the max, light up the night and I never look back. I am the hunter, you are the monster. I am the entity, I am the haunter. Fight with no water, fight with no water. Bring me the leg, I won't choke on the water. I am the author, you are the paper. Rip you apart, leave the blood on the razor. Motherfucker, I am the product and never feeling my feelings. I run upon them in the middle of the night and I kill them. I drill a hole in the building to fill the void. If I miss, I can tell me shit, I don't listen. I'm burning up with the witches. Always been the same and I'll never change.